Hello everyone and welcome back to the Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway, and you join me here with the 7F as you would expect. Now I'm here in Bath Green Park, and that's because I've been away from the game for over a month now, making sure that the coffee store and the 7F release went smoothly. So I haven't really been in the game and driving around for a while, and I thought it'd be quite a fun little change of events to boot the 7F and see if I can get it out of the Bath Green Park 1 in 50 incline. And it's just a bit of fun and just to help keep the 7F on the page, in the socials, for a bit of fun. So I've put down one of the consists that come with the pack, which is the BR Unlined Black, and I've substituted the cab dealy tender for the dealy tender that comes in the consist. So we've got 8 green Mark 1s, and we're here with 53801. So let's see how we get on. So let's jump straight into the cab. I get the F5 hood on as well. It might be difficult to see because obviously it's on the top left there, and if I look forward, it's obviously in the sky. So I'll try and read out some of the values as I go, and this is just for a bit of fun, and it might help teach or understand some values for people that might struggle getting this thing steamed as well as they want it to be. So it's just a bit of a video for fun, and you might get something out of it as well. So as we boot up, we have 695 pounds of coal. Now the ideal fire mass for this loco is 780. So let's get that topped up, and with the fire mass in itself, we actually have a fire sim as well. So this loco will spawn in a cold state, so it will steam, but when we want to work it hard as we do the 1 in 50, obviously we want to get it as hot as possible. Now fire mass doesn't necessarily represent fire temperature, so we'll get the blower going as well, try and get the mass built up, try and get the temperature built up, just so the loco is in a nice warm hot state and it's generating its maximum steam. So whilst it's doing that, we shall just have a look over at our train and we'll get the passengers loaded. We'll also boot into the 9 view just to have a look at the map. Now I don't know if I'm going the correct road on this. This is just for fun. I know I need to get to this junction here, so we'll just align all the points like that, because obviously that's the main point there, because that is the main road out of Bath and up the 1 in 50. We're all set. Again, I'm not sure if this is the correct road, but it's the road we're going to take because it's just for fun. Yeah, we're all fine with that. How are we doing with our coal? Okay, £780. That's exactly what we want. So we'll get that stopped there. And we'll get our dampers open as well. Crack the blower a bit more. We want that temperature to come up as well. So we'll get the brakes in the release position. Now that we're ready to depart, get the large ejector open. See the brakes releasing there, and whilst it's doing that, we will crank the small ejector open a little bit. Reverser lock. Get the reverser into the forward position. And we'll open our cylinder cocks as well. So now that we are basically ready to depart, we'll give it a little toot. And we'll start getting some steam through. Okay, there we go going. We can shut the blower now because we're already creating the draft with the exhausts, and now we've got the small ejector open, we can close the large ejector there. So we've still got the brakes in release position. We are blowing off, so we've got the temperatures we're getting to where we want them to be. We've got the fire mass certainly where we want it to be, so we'll just keep getting the loco nice and warmed up. Just because we have the correct fire mass doesn't mean we instantly get the correct fire temperature, so we do still have to work the loco a little bit to bring it up to speed. So off we got? We've got a 30 miles an hour speed limit. That's fine. So we'll bring the reverser back. Bring it back to about 50%. We don't want to push it too hard just yet. Now we can close the centre cocks now as well. Nice and gentle as we start building up momentum. Building boiler pressure. And we'll open the cab window as well, because why not? So we are coming across, well, we are upcoming to the junction here. It's quite a tight curve, so we don't want to be going too fast. But probably are going a little bit quick actually, so just have a little dab of brakes. Probably a little quick, but that's okay. We haven't derailed, everything's fine. So how we're doing? 760. A bit more coal. Ah, we can get the regulator open again now. We just hit the 70 miles an hour speed limit, and we've also just hit the the first part of the incline, which is 1 in 48, very steep. Now 1 in 58, and it will balance out at about around 1 in 50. You can hear the loco picking up the slack. So remaining in 50% cut off, we're slowly increasing the chest pressure. We're pretty much on full rake. We got the grip, we're not slipping, so we'll make use of that steam. We are wasting steam, so I don't want to be doing that. So whilst we are blowing off, I'll quickly open the injectors, just to keep us topped up for the incline, and whilst we've got that steam to spare. Now 1 in 50. So we are losing boiler pressure. So we're not maintaining blow off constant. We are idling around that threshold. Loco's holding nice and steady where we want it. Keeping our fire mass where we want it as well. Now we're burning nice and hot. We're getting the generation rates that we want. Let's shut the injector off now, but we're starting to lose a lot more steam. And we're starting to see that the incline is starting to eat into our speed here as well. 25.6. Cut off a little bit to 52%. How is our train doing? Seems to be doing okay. That's what we want. Oh, we'll give a nice little toot as we go in. More of the injectors. We are seeing our speed decrease slightly, but we are maintaining quite well. Boiler pressure is being sustained as well. We have dropped a little bit in our fire mass, so we'll get that topped up as well whilst we're out of the tunnel. I have put the ejectors back on just to keep the boiler topped up whilst we've got the steam to spare. We can get that closed now. Put the reverser back to 50% instead of 52. Now we can start seeing our boiler pressure rise again. So just put that back up to 52. Now we've seen a massive increase. And look at the firebox shot as well. And now as we start levelling off, we're able to see the speed rise dramatically, so we can actually wind that reverser back. For the time being, I'm going to shut the dampers because we are blowing off quite substantially, which is totally fine. We've worked the local very hard to get up the incline, so that's only natural. So we'll use up a little bit more of steam and our descent down just to make sure that we are not blowing off too much. And what we can do is we can actually ease the regulator back a little bit now as we're starting to see momentum. And we're looking at about 45 miles an hour as we start coming out of the tunnel entrance here. Let's get the regulator shut here, and what we'll do is add a little dab of brake. Now our small ejector's still open slightly, so that will reduce. So it will release the brakes slowly, but just a little bit to sort of ease that curve off of our acceleration as we start coming towards the station here. A little quick than I'd like it, but we are still within the speed limit. A little bit of a larger jet, just took a little bit of the brake off there. As we start making our way towards the station, we can open the large ejector completely now and have full control of the brakes. And with the brakes released, we're basically got the station in sight at about 20 miles an hour, which is perfect. Perfect for what we want. Now this is not ideal to be stopping here at such a long consist, because obviously we're not going to fit in that station at all, but it's a nice place to call. Nice place to call the video. So I'm just incrementally giving the brakes a couple of dabs, dibs of brake. I mean, we do have a red signal there, so I'll just be a little extra cautious with distance. And we'll fold that over there. And whilst we're stationary, we'll get the ejector open, firebox open. The blower's closed, so we are losing boiler pressure because I'm not creating that artificial draft. But that's exactly where we want the loco. It's nice and hot, it's not going to be blowing off, especially whilst we're loading passengers. Well, we would be if I was better in the station. But yeah, there we go, a month without driving and I can still get up the 1 in 50. So that's one thing to be cautious of if you're playing around with the loco and trying to understand its characteristics, is the fire temperature and the fire mass are two independent values that you need to be aware of, and the loco itself has a response time. So building up that fire mass doesn't automatically mean you have the temperature and the steam generation rates. You have to ease the loco into the line of work that you want it to do, and as well as waiting for the loco and easing the loco into those temperature areas, you can utilize the way you drive the loco to make it more adaptable to the route that you want to drive in. For example, keeping the fire mass down and the temperatures therefore down, you can actually run the loco in a nice cool state for more like preservation lines, so you're not constantly blowing off, and you can actually adapt the way that you drive purely by the way that you fire the loco as well. Pushing the loco hard will obviously draw up that fire temperature, so it's a nice way of including the firing sim to the driving sim and then applying that in the world where you want to drive. So it's a nice little combination of a couple of things. It can be a little bit difficult to manage all the different areas, especially if you've got auto fireman turned off, but it's a nice little bit of a challenge that I personally quite like. I find it quite fun. So there's a little video, and yeah, 7F is available now on Ko-fi along with the Nielsen box tanks, Salisbury Mineral Tramway and the Queen Mary brake van pack. Now we've got some new things in development. We've got some exciting announcements that will be made shortly, and keep an eye out on the socials. Give us a like, follow and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and join the Discord perhaps. It'd be nice to get in contact and have a natter with you all. So for now, I shall speak to you later.